got gold records. He's got platinum records. He's got CMA and ACM awards. And now a best-selling book. You can hear him here on The Dana Williams Show.
Hey, man. How about that? Yes, friends, that's us. What a goober, man. Facebook page. Bless his heart.
Here's Dana.
All right, here is Dana Williams. Welcome to the Dana Williams Show right here on DanaWilliamsShow.com. We have had a pretty interesting January, December. We had the holiday season since I've been down here to the old cave to record some, and had a wonderful holiday, and I hope that you and your family has. And here we are into January, and let me tell you, Nashville, Tennessee has had some weather here. And when it doesn't take much to say that Nashville's had some weather, just be cold and the threat of rain. And, brother, everybody is holed up in their house. And for those of you that are up there in Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, New York, you can just stop laughing now, because I understand. But we'll survive, let me tell you right now, for sure. Today, friends, we've got extra special guest here, that one that I would imagine, I'm thinking out of the box here, but I would imagine she doesn't get to be on this side of the microphone very often. But I want you all to welcome Miss Suzanne Alexander.
Thank you for, it's weird. I said it was so nice to be able to do this, and I said it felt so self-indulgent for me to be able to choose my songs. Because listen, being in radio and even on GAC, we're told what to play. So to be able to go ahead.
Absolutely. I for those of you that don't know, Suzanne is, host of how many shows on GAC? Great American Country.
I do the whole network.
Yeah, I think you do.
No, yeah, right. Now, listen, I wouldn't want that job, let me tell you.
Oh, my God. Every time I turn that channel on, there you are.
Listen, you mentioned December. We had some downtime, and in fact, I had some viewers that were Facebooking me going, hey, are you still with GAC? Because I haven't seen you. Because production really kind of slows down, and we put on some of those specials, but I've
Music City shuts down.
Everybody had off for the month. It was really, it's neat. It's like a little bit of a holiday, but I love the snow. Have you enjoyed it at all?
Oh man, I enjoy looking out and seeing it, and
but not getting in it.
It makes my wife happy to see it, and that makes me happy. And but I don't really enjoy getting out in the freezing cold.
I'm one of those crazy people. As soon as the snow hit here, it was like a Sunday that we got really bombarded. I took to my sneakers, got my dog, and went to the park because I knew nobody else was going to be there.
You're right. They're all in getting milk and bread.
and I'm running in it, and I'm literally probably about 5 miles in, and my hands started to really get cold. I thought this was dumb.
I have seen, for those of you that don't know, Suzanne is also a marathon runner.
Well, half, and I have to say...
Hey, a half?
Well,
that's 13 miles?
Let's not forget the 0.1. But it is way different from the 26.2 that marathoners do. So I have not yet been able to step up to the plate. But I have to credit Diamond Rio. I mean, your guys really started me on this path to being healthy and to get into running. Before, and I kid you not, this is a true story, before I got involved with Diamond Rio and running for Big Brothers, I was on the treadmill and I would maybe do 2 miles and I'd be like, and then I was approached by you guys, hey, listen, join us for this Big Brothers run. And I said, there's just no way I can do it. And I did it. And I have not turned back since.
So you're there for 2011?
I don't know.
They just had their kickoff.
I know. I saw the emails that came through, and I get the email still, and I'm like...
And you have bailed, huh?
Well, because here's the deal. I'm not running that much now. I go out and I maybe do my long run is 6 miles. So...
you're already...
I'm no Jimmy Olander. I can't compete with that man.
5 miles and 9/10 further than I go.
Have you done it? Have you ever gotten out?
No.
You could do the run walk.
Have you done? Look at me.
You could. Anybody could do a run walk, and it's great.
Man.
It becomes addictive.
Let's just give all the credit to Jimmy Olander, because he deserves every bit of it. Now, let's not forget Mr. Marty Rowe.
Marty's pretty good.
He has been out there 2 or 3 years, and I heard the rumor mill says that he may pass this year.
Really? I got to tell you, listen, I'm not one to talk because they both have just whipped my butt.
Oh, man,
in time.
I am not saying, man, I just praise them, man, for doing it.
For people that may not know, they're coming way under the 2 hour. I mean, they're like running like 150, I think, an hour and 50 minutes.
I know Jimmy is for sure, yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I know Marty, too, was coming under 2 hours. My best time is 2:06, and that was like a flat.
Good, man.
That's like Memphis doing the St. Jude one.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit flatter. Nashville's hilly. It's hard here.
Of course, we're talking about the Music City Marathon that happens here in Nashville
In April, so come on out.
Yeah. And we're also talking about Team Rio. You can go to teamrio.com and go to the Facebook Team Rio Facebook page, and I invite all you marathoners
and halfers
and half marathoners. As far as I'm concerned, she's worried about the half. If you're anything over a mile, you're a marathoner.
You know, you always hear the joke, why would I run unless somebody's chasing me? Right?
Yeah. So that when they do chase you, you can get away.
You got the cardio. You know where you're going.
If they chase me, you're going to catch me. Go ahead, chase.
That's the way I look at it. You know, I go hiking a lot out in the Smokies, and there's every time I've been out there, I've seen black bear. And I look at my friends and I go, the only thing I have to do is be able to outrun one of you, and I'm good.
Yeah, that's a fact. Well, hey, like many others that have sit in that chair that you're in, I have asked you to bring 5 or 6 songs, and you have done that, and man,
you know what? It's crazy. And I realize too, I mean, my taste is so varied. I love classic country. I love today's
beautiful.
Country.
I love that.
But I love classic rock. And I realized too, I didn't take any today's Christian music. I'm a major Francesca Battistelli fan.
Are you really?
I run to her. I think it's so inspirational when you run to that stuff.
Absolutely.
So good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, we're going to... she has brought, looks like 6 songs here, and we've already got them numbered for you, friends.
He cut me off at 6.
I cut her off at 6. You're out of there. But the first one is a Dolly Parton song.
You know what? I'm a Dolly for me as a kid growing up, and it's so odd. And I'll confess it here on the show, and don't hate me, but I'm a Long Islander. I grew up on Long Island, New York.
I was going to try and put that off a little bit longer.
But listen, you know why I say that? Because it was so odd. I was really this strange kid that just did not fit in. You know that Barbara Mandrell song, I was country when country wasn't cool.
Oh, yeah.
That was me. I was this kid in Long Island, and when everybody else was listening to all this pop stuff, I was listening to Dolly's classics. And I would have my cousins come up in my room, and I shared a room with my 2 sisters, so it was 3 beds. We were all cramped in one room. One bed, I made the stage, and one bed was the audience. And I would play Dolly's songs, and I would do like Me and Little Andy, But You Know That I Love You. And I would sing into my hairbrush, and they had to watch me. And they were miserable.
Did they have to clap?
Yes, they had to clap.
It was the rules.
But it wasn't even me singing. I was just lip syncing to Dolly's songs. I was what a bratty kid that I made them sit there and
no, man, that's
watch me.
That's their job. That's their job as a sibling.
They were the audience. But my sisters didn't. It was my cousins, so they were a little bit younger than me, so I could kind of boss them around a little bit.
So you was a singer.
I was the singer, and I would often let them take a turn at the microphone, aka the hairbrush. But
and I'm sure they couldn't.
They didn't want to do it.
They just suck, probably.
Yeah. So for me, when I look back and you said pick some songs, and I thought, my God, I mean, I even had a Dolly Parton scrapbook that I would cut out all these articles and I would paste them in this little book, and I'd have to hide it under the couch in the living room because my brother Steven, who's older than me, would, if we got in a fight, he would rip something up that meant a lot to me. So I had to, I know, we were vicious kids.
Yeah.
I would rip up his Sports Illustrated newspapers. Remember those? They were like came in newspapers. I would rip them.
How many is there of you guys?
There's 5. I'm the baby of 5.
Oh, my word.
It says a lot that I'm the baby.
Who would have thought that, huh?
Yeah, I used to, I was daddy's little girl. So I could do no wrong. My mom,
Not
on the
another
other
one.
my mother, let me tell you, my mom was all for the boys. We had three girls and two boys, and my mom was for the boys, my dad was for the girls, and especially me because I was the baby.
Sure,
So
of course,
he
yes.
really protected me. But when my dad wasn't home, I had to hide my Dolly Parton
And what did he
scrapbook.
do?
My dad actually worked for the county in data processing. I mean, he worked in computers with when it was DAT. And then he taught adult education computer classes to people. My father was really, really smart, mathematical whiz, engineering. I got none of that. I mean, I got not one drop of that kind of brain, but my father was a really smart man. Yeah.
Well, that's bless his heart. That's all I got to say. He had better had something with all five of you
With
guys.
5 of us, exactly. I leaned towards, listen, I thought I was going to be an actress. I was into music. As a kid, I was obsessed with these celebrities. And
The interesting part is just the simple fact of a girl being such a country music fanatic in Long Island, New York.
Well, my parents, listen, I heard it even from my parents. My mother go, I don't know where you came from. My mom used to tell a story growing up in Brooklyn that she had a friend, Rosie. She goes, I had a friend, Rosie, who used to listen to country and Western, and now I've got a daughter who listens to it. Where did you come from? So,
See, what I don't get about you is when I read that you were from there, I was like, well, I don't hear that in her at all.
oh,
Somebody
listen,
has worked on that.
I lost that a long time. Well, I worked for museums, and I gave public speaking. I did that a lot growing up and through college, and I learned to. But when I go back, I can easily start talking like this. Hey, Dana, how you doing? So I'm so happy to be here. I love Dolly.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with my sisters, and I give my sister her. She goes, "What's wrong with you? I talk fine. I don't understand what you're saying." But yeah,
boy, you just instantaneously, she's on Seinfeld.
it can happen, folks. But I dial it back.
Yeah, for you, she
For
dials
you.
it back.
Thank God I can.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, let's play. I want to hear this Dolly Parton song, and maybe we can control you.
Yeah.
I don't think I got a hairbrush around here, so I think we're in good shape. This is called But You Know I Love You.
When the morning sun streaks across my room and I'm waking up from another dream of you. Yes, you know I'm on the road. Once again it seems all that's left behind is a chain of broken dreams. But you know that I love you. You know that I love you. Oh, I love you. And how I wish that love is all we'd need to live. What a life we'd have. 'Cause I've got so much to give. But you know I feel so sad down inside my heart that the dollar signs should be keeping us apart. But you know that I love you. You know that I love you. Oh, how I love you. And if only I could find my way back to the time when the problems of this life had not yet crossed my mind, and the answers could be found in children's nursery rhymes, I'd come running back to you. I'd come running back to you. But you know we can't live on dreams alone. Got to pay the rent, so I must leave you all alone. 'Cause you know I made my choice many years ago, and now this traveling life, well, it's the only life I know. But you know that I love you. You know that I love you. Oh, Don't you know that I love you? Oh, how I love you.
Some way that Dolly says I love you like no one else, huh?
I know, right? I wonder, we should probably look at that. How many I love you songs Dolly has done?
Man.
It's like in the lyric.
I mean, man,
First
nobody
song.
can say it like her, no doubt about it.
That's, it's so odd. And you listen to those words and I thought, I was a kid then and I always thought that I was never going to have time to settle down, that I was always going to be leaving, which was another odd thing coming from Long Island. And if anybody from Long Island's listening, people don't leave the island. Yeah. My family and my siblings don't leave the island. And I always knew I was never staying there. I always knew that I was going to be leaving and going somewhere else and pursuing something in the entertainment business.
So, and speaking of that, I see that you of course was heavily into radio in Long Island, and then eventually leaving and going south.
Listen, if you want to do country music, if you want a bunch of country stations, there's only one place to go. It wasn't New York, trust me.
No, it was not New York, but Florida doesn't come to mind neither.
Florida, listen, I got to tell you, Florida was the reason why I chose Florida,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Florida and all that good stuff. Country down in Florida.
Really? Big time country. And let me too, for people from Long Island, country on Long Island, a lot of people, you've been out to Westbury Music Fair.
Absolutely.
I mean, you go further east and south on the island, you will definitely, and I say south, but further east on the island, I mean, we've got farms out there. People don't realize.
Oh, man, Brian Prout. What are you talking about?
Right.
He's from New York, man.
So he knows, but New York is like, and then upstate New York, obviously way country. We always say upstate New York is not really part of New York. If you're from New York City or you're from the island, that's New York, and then upstate is like a whole nother world.
Well,
for
people
us.
will just say, I'm from New York and I'm from upstate.
That's what it is. When I first moved here, there was a place that said New York Pizzeria, and I was like, oh my God, I can get a slice of pizza here from New York. And I asked the guide, I waited until he served me, and I tried the pizza, and I was like, it's not so good. Like, the sauce was really sweet. And I'm like, gosh, it's just not like home. I said, so where in New York are you from? Buffalo.
Oh, you're not.
It's not. No, that's upstate. Downstaters know the difference, and upstaters don't get mad. There is a difference. But,
my
but
word.
Florida was my destination because my brother lived there. And he goes, you got to come down here. There's a lot of radio stations down here. Huh. So that was my target. And I literally sent out little cassette tapes with my audition on there, with my resume, and sent them to, I picked his house, and then I did this circle, this radius, and I sent him to every single station that was in driving distance of where my brother lived, because I knew I'd have to crash at his place.
And where did he live now?
And he was in Gainesville at the time. Gainesville.
Yeah.
And so there was Gator Country down there, was a radio station. But I wound up working 2 jobs in McClenny, which was close to Jacksonville, and then in Trenton, Florida. I was working 2 radio stations at once.
Huh.
So,
well, isn't that interesting? Huh?
My first radio, the big station, the Trenton, which wasn't big, but for me it was big. It was literally on a cow pasture. I would sit. It was down a dirt road in a trailer, and I would go outside and sit out there and watch the cows.
Watch the cows. Okay, anyway, we're back now. We just had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I wanted to talk more about you going to radio, going down to Florida. You say you were going to live with your brother and all that good stuff, but you were a disc jockey, or this is what I'm read. Now, if I've read something wrong, you tell me, because I know how that works.
And it's so, it's so scary. Do you have this, like, when people ask you questions, it was so long ago that I'm like trying to get the timeline like in my head, like,
absolutely.
Wait, what came first? Yeah.
But anyway, says you were a disc jockey, and then you got to Florida and become, is it program director or music director?
Music director.
Yeah, music director.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was a completely different avenue, completely, and I just think it's interesting to hear exactly what are you getting at as far as that goes.
Well, for me, and I should specify too, I did become music director down at the station in Trenton, Florida, which was WCWB. But I left Florida, came back up to Long Island, and there was a big station, which was Market 16 at that time. I don't know where it is now, but there was a country station that popped up. So I was able to come back home, get work at this station. Being music director for that station opened up a whole world, because we were a reporting station. I was a music director. Yeah. So I got to really understand how record labels work.
Now, the reporting, when she mentions reporting, talking about the music charts, the Billboard charts, and the different charts. Some radio stations, they do not report to those charts, and other stations do. And when you get to a reporting station, then you become close and intimate with the record companies.
Let's just say you get, I mean, to put it bluntly, you really get treated well, because if you're a reporting station, you have an ability, if you're playing a song, to affect a song on the charts, so moving up or down or whatever, depending on how many times you're playing it. So now you're in the zone for Nashville, Music City, and record labels to go, okay, this guy's on our map because they can affect where this song goes on the chart.
Okay, we need to suck up to them really big.
So then, back in the day, when Diamond Rio was young, they would come, I mean, like, when you're first starting, that you guys would come out and do shows and meet the station, and we'd have pizza, and, they play in the conference room. And as a music director, you get to be a part of all that. So when the label comes in from Nashville and says, hey, we want to take you guys out to dinner and have you meet this new artist, as a music director and the program director, we both go. And I got to make a lot of great friends that way. That friends that to this day that I'm still friends with.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and from the artist end, let me tell you, from being an artist and going through that, you meet more people, and people that I still visit with and chat with to this day, people that I met on I'll tell you a great example. We were out doing radio visits for Meet in the Middle, our very first single in 1990 and 91. And I met a fella down at K-Plex in Texas named Bobby Craig. Mm-hmm. And we went to lunch with him and this and that. And lo and behold, a few years later, he becomes head of promotions at our label in Arista.
Is it, and that is just one of the many, because it's such a small world.
Unbelievable,
that a lot of that happens. I always just say, too, in this business, be careful of the butt that you're kicking. It could be the butt you will be kissing.
That's absolutely the truth. I've never seen anything more like that, man. You learn real quick. Hey, buddy, everybody is your friend.
Yeah. If somebody's down, they'll be up, and if they're up, they'll be down.
Man,
it happens a lot.
That's
in this
just business,
yeah.
So in that, so I guess just learning the business, and with being a music director, man, there's a lot of people to meet, as we're talking about, and then just the business end of it.
I got to tell you, too,
Period.
but having been, I don't know if you know this, and I don't know if it was in my bio, that when I eventually did make the move to Nashville, which I had always known I was going to do, I wound up working for a record label, and for Harold Shedd's record label was an independent. And Harold Shedd, for people may not know, incredible producer, and found Billy Ray Cyrus and has produced Billy Ray and KT Oslin and Tanya Tucker and you name it, Jamie O'Neill.
Oh, yeah.
But I actually became a record rep. So then I was on the other side of things, and having done both, so much nicer to be on the radio side. So much nicer to be the one taken to dinner instead of the one having to take that person out.
There you go. Oh, my goodness.
When I said the butt you're kicking, the butt kiss, I really realized fast that.
Absolutely.
Yes, but sir, I would love you to play my record. It was an artist, Mark McGuinn. In fact, I should have brought some of his music, but Mark had a great song, Stephen Rudy, that became a top 5, and it was our first release for that label. Right. And it was me traveling around with these guys.
What year was that?
Gosh, what year was that? Had it be maybe 2001, was it?
Was it? Really?
Was it 2000? Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was living here. I came here in 99.
Huh.
So I think it had to be right around that.
Well, friends, I don't know what to tell you other than you're listening to the Dana Williams Show right here on DanaWilliamsShow.com, and you are definitely getting the inside edition here.
Are we getting too inside?
Not at all, man. I love it, and I know the folks are loving it too, man. No doubt about it. Now, you have brought a song by a fella that has been here and. Just a dear friend, and absolutely love his singing and have from day one. And of course, I'm talking about none other than Joe Diffie.
My God, one of my favorite all-time male voices in the business. And
Absolutely.
the story with this, it's a regular Joe CD, and the song is Ships That Don't Come In. We mentioned Florida and talked about living in Trenton, Florida. I was in this little trailer. I had never, ever done an artist interview in my life at this time. But I had done radio, but never had anybody call in. Now, here is this big artist. It was Joe Diffie calling me. I was so green. I was a nervous wreck.
What was this, like middle 90s?
I guess mid-90s had to be. Yeah.
Had to be right around in there. I was trying to think when that song was out.
When I could, if I got my glasses, I could probably look at that date. But now I'm really dating myself. But anyway, he had called in, and he was so sweet. And I was in the middle of this stop set, and I'm like, can you call back? Because I just don't have the time. I don't know where to do it. Because he's like, well, couldn't we just pre-record it? Never occurred to me that people do that. Of course we can.
Of course,
what
Mr.
an
Diffie.
idiot. Exactly. I'm like, thank you for suggesting that.
Yes.
But it was just awful. But he was so sweet. And Joe was just not too long ago into the GAC studio to talk about his new bluegrass album.
Right.
And I had reminded him of him being my first interview ever. And he goes, was I nice? I said, oh, you were very patient.
Was I nice, he says.
So patient. But this song will always forever bring me back to that day of just being a nervous wreck and Joe Diffie being my very first interview in this business.
Absolutely. Well, here is Ships That Don't Come In.
I could tell he'd had a tough life by the way he sat and stared. And me, I'd come to push and shove, so I pulled up a chair. We talked of roads untraveled, we talked of love untrue, of strings that come unraveled. We were kings and kindred fools. And just when I'd hit bottom, that old man raised his glass and said, at least we've had our chances. There's those who never have. So here's to all the soldiers who have ever died in vain, insane locked up in themselves, the homeless down on Main. To those who stand on empty shores and spit against the wind, and those who wait forever for ships that don't come in. Said it's only life's illusions that bring us to this bar, to pick up these old crutches and compare each other's scars. 'Cause the things we're calling heartaches, hell, they're hardly worth our time. We bitch about $1 when there's those without a dime. And as he ordered one last round, he said, I guess we can't complain. God made life a gamble, and we're still in the game. So here's to all the soldiers who have ever died in vain, insane locked up in themselves, the homeless down on Main. To those who stand on empty shores and spit against the wind, and those who wait forever for ships that don't come in, and those who wait for ships that don't come in.
That's Joe Diffie with Ships That Don't Come In. Friends, you're listening to the Dana Williams Show right here on DanaWilliamsShow.com, and I truly hope that you are enjoying this show. I know that I am, and if you've been listening, then you are too. Today we have Miss Suzanne Alexander.
I hope they're enjoying because you'll never have me back again. You get some emails going, oh, Lord.
Oh, my goodness. I know you have seen her on Great American Country and pretty much anything live out there. If there's a story done, you see her there or doing something with it. Or I've found out recently you can go to YouTube, and she's all over YouTube.
Am I really? That's nice to know. I hope it's work-related.
Well, I think it is. And if it's not, I encourage you to search it out even more.
I have tech-savvy nieces. I have 9 nieces and nephews, and they're all pretty tech-savvy, and they will post some stuff on my Facebook, and I'm like, get it off my Facebook, please.
Well, somebody give them the control. Oh, my goodness.
This is a blast. Thank you so much for having me. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, very self-indulgent. It's nice to be able to do this.
Absolutely. What were we talking about during the song there? We were talking about something, and I said, I'll bring that up, and I've already forgotten.
About time. We were talking about time and talking.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about time and...
Because I said to Dana, I go, how are these breaks? Because we're talking. And I know, like right now, my program director, if I had one, would swing the door open and pull me out by my hair and throw me on the street.
And I told her, I said, there's nothing more aggravating than doing something like this and somebody standing behind you giving you the winded up, movement, move, we got to move, It's so aggravating, man.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And that's the thing, man. You guys have emailed me and this and that talking about how you enjoy the talk, and that's exactly what we do here. And we throw in a little music for some flavor.
Right now, any programmer listening is, they can't breathe. They've gone into hyperventilating.
Yeah, well, they can't control it, so I
got to tell you, I used to, when Jim Asker is a good friend of mine, and actually, if anybody wants to read about the business, one of the industry online, it's like an industry magazine, but it's online. It's called allaccess.com.
Yeah.
And Jim Asker was my program director in Long Island, and Dana, I'm sure if you saw him, you would remember him. But he heads up the country music division of allaccess.com. And back in New York, when he was my PD, I would do breaks and I would say what I wanted, or sometimes play songs that maybe weren't on the playlist.
Right.
I would have to stick a chair under the door. And I kid you not, because I knew he was I would do what I did, and then I would, hit the song, and then I would just look at the door, and I go, he's coming in. And I would count 5, 4, and literally that door would be trying to open. I go, it's blocked. You can't come in. It's blocked. And he goes, open this. I mean, he used to yell, you're unmanageable. I'm like, you can't manage. Yeah. I mean, we used to, and we're best friends today, and we've gotten past that. But
just over a few lousy minutes, they're throwing a fit.
One thought per break. I would go 5 thoughts per break.
One thought per break. That's
per break.
Funny right there. Well, hey, man, it's all in what you like, and I happen to, as many know, I happen to like to visit and get the scoop, baby. That's what it's all
What is that?
about.
You just got me nervous. What does that mean?
Well, sometimes you
dig deep. You dig deep.
You kind of dig in there and talk about things that everybody seems to steer away from. Like, here's a good example.
You're not going politics, are you, Ami?
No, I don't go none of that crap, man. I go to the juicy stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like, here you are. You've been a host, GAC, for how long now?
Gosh, it's almost, I think I'm in my 9th year with them.
Yeah, I was going to say, man,
My 9th year.
I know.
Yeah, it's a life, and that really in this business probably is 90 years. Because that's a lifetime. Because nobody ever, you think 5 years, might have good 5 years or so in doing something like this. So knock on wood, I have been extremely blessed to continue doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, and you're doing it that long because you're good at it. So, I mean.
Well, thank you.
It's
it beats
just
where I
always
say it beats working for a living. That's
there
for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how I say it. But after all these shows and all these guests and this and that, there's had to be a time when you've just been on the air and absolutely mad as a wet hen.
Mad?
Just mad. Just ticked off.
When I'm on the air?
Sure. I mean, I've been on stage mad as all get out. I've played shows just mad as I can be. And you can't tell me out of all these guests and all these different personalities and opinions and egos.
Okay, well, now I see what you're saying. All right. Well, the thing is, when things
now,
like that happen,
if you have to be politically correct,
yeah, you have
you
to.
can just say, okay, I'm not going there.
But no, I mean, I'm not even mentioning any names. I think what I do, for the most part, I always feel like this liaison between a fan who's watching and the artist that's there, and to get the artist's point across, their songs, their message, whatever it is,
right?
That's what I'm there for. So I'm not there to really give my opinion, so to speak. I mean, I don't really cast what I think on anybody or put it out there. But there are times when there have been interviews where you think, my gosh, this person does not want to be here. And that makes me mad, because now it's my job to have to sit here and talk to them. And they're here begrudgingly. They do not want to do this. So I have been in that situation where either if it's a number of people, if it's one person, you find something before you go on that will break the ice. Something that you kind of say, okay, I need to really do and go overboard, whatever I need to do to put this behind us, because I need at least 10 minutes from this person. That's good. So, I mean, I've learned, it's almost like psychotherapy in a way.
Now, the interesting part about this is you need 10 minutes from this person that probably less than 2-3 years ago would have paid you money to give them 10 minutes.
Oh, God, yeah.
But now, as careers move, they're in the position to where now you are needing the 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
For you, and they don't want to be there. And before, it was, I'll give you the 10 minutes, and I don't want to be here.
Oh, yeah. It definitely, again, back to the butt you're kicking and kissing, that whole thing. Yeah, it happens a lot. And I mean, and listen, everybody in this business, as we said, it's waves. Whoever's going up, sometimes they come down. And, you see people that aren't maybe the nicest. Sometimes those careers don't last because people don't want to deal with it. And regardless, I mean, if it's an artist or, somebody on my side of things, people go away, and it's not worth it. It's I always say we're not curing, cancer here. This isn't, rocket science. We're playing music. We love what we do. You love to make it and write it and produce it. And I love to listen and talk about it. I mean, it's a great marriage, and we really have to be thankful for what we have.
Yeah, I have just talked to Brother Bill that used to work up at Casino Rama up in Canada. There's a beautiful casino up there. I
know people that are up there this weekend. Terry Clark is playing up there, and I know.
Well, there was a fellow up there, Bill, that I believe Bill's probably going to be listening in, but he used to run that showroom up there and this and that, and he has since moved on and doing some other things. But we used to, after we'd play up there, he would, they had everybody and their brother that would come in and play there, all types of music, didn't matter. Everybody from Kiss to, George Jones, it didn't matter. They had them all there. And we would sit and say, okay, man, come on, give us the scoop, man.
On those rockers.
Who's just been the biggest jerk, and who's been this, and who's done this, and he'd just lay it out there, man. And we had more wonderful conversations with
Getting
him.
the skinny and the dirt on people.
Oh, yeah, just...
And I bet it was more rocker guys than country artists, right? I mean, it seems that world
didn't hear it with country artists like you did. A lot of the pop.
Yeah, the pop
world, and the older guys from like talking 60s and stuff like that are still out there. The classic guys, that you still hear some attitude, and he'd tell us about all that. And here I am. I brought it up, and here I am being politically correct and not wanting to say any names.
You don't want to drop just one name on who was a real jerk? Is that? people are listening right now going, come on, give us one name.
Yeah, I know they are. And I'm like, you know, who am I to sit here and trash somebody when I wasn't there? But
and that's the thing.
I
People
really
can
want to
have-
tell you.
Well, you know, listen, I'm sure there are people that are jerks in certain situations and maybe something happened before that. But, I mean, you don't know people's story. Like,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
don't
somebody has a
know.
bad day and then that's their...
Yeah, I mean, he's just told us some really classic stuff. And I'm just thinking, man, here is a TV host that hosts interviews from everybody.
I
And
will
there's
say
gotta
that there are tough interviews. There are some that thank God they're here today. And then there are some that are like, oh, God.
I bet there is.
Can I just say, too, which is something that I think people need to hear, when we go out and GAC hosts the ACM Orange Carpet out there in Las
Right,
Vegas,
right.
that network, because, you know, they always have their TV stars present and actors and actresses from Hollywood, that every single time I'm out there and there's an actress or actor that's from Hollywood that's there, they always, and I kid you not, it happens with all of them, they come up to me and go, this is really weird. Is everybody this nice? This is really strange.
Really?
Like, I've had so many people come up to me from the acting world where I've been interviewing them backstage. I go, what's the deal? Like, why is everybody so nice? It's funny as heck that you think, why? You know, I'm like, is Hollywood that bad?
It makes you kind of feel sorry for them, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I bet it's, you know, I don't know about you, but I see some of this stuff with these paparazzi
Oh, yeah.
crap that I see going on. And, you know, whether you're a fan or not, what you see going on with, like, Britney Spears and you know, Jerry Seinfeld and these different ones that you just see them absolutely wear out. And I'm like, my goodness, Megan Fox, there's another one that you see stuff on, you know, which probably would.
Jerry Seinfeld in the news again? I'm like, you singled him out. What's...
Well, no, I just see, you know, surfing around this and that, and I've seen, you know, where guys are just following him around. He can't even go get a
I see what you're
hamburger,
saying, yeah.
you know, without somebody wearing him out. And,
The price of fame, yeah.
yeah, and I would imagine because of that,
It can make you-
that is what makes you so, you know what, how about just...
Yeah. You can't have a normal life and you become less normal
yeah,
because
I
of
guess
it.
so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Well, speaking of that, we...
Less normal?
Speaking of less normal, we've got a song here.
Is this the Dylan? Is this Dylan?
See, there you go.
Well, listen, you know, Dylan is, and why, you know, Dana said it doesn't have to be country. It could be anything. This is your deal. And the reason why I picked Dylan, and probably my love of music, was really, I guess, brought on from my older sisters and brothers. And they all had their own style. And my brother Jimmy and I are really close. And we're, you know, he's the second from the oldest, so there's an age difference between us, but we're very similar in the fact that we love entertainment, we love music, and he would always be listening to like America or Jethro Tull or Bob Dylan, and Dylan really stuck with me, and to this day he still listens to Dylan, and now his daughter is like a Dylan fanatic, which is so cool because here she just graduated high school, and she's listening to Dylan, and I'm like, that's so awesome, which is kind of neat to see.
That's different.
But this, but this song, "It Ain't Me, Babe," I was dating a guy, and I'm not going to say his name, and he's probably not listening. I don't know where he is now, but he was in the race car community, and
Oh, really?
And I played this song. I said, I'm going to step out for a sec. I'm going to play you a song. Listen to this. It's one of my favorites, and I'll be right back. And I played him this song, and he realized that I was breaking up with him. I know everything revolves around music for me. I'm a freak.
Oh, my gosh. Race car guy, huh?
Yeah, it's the National Hot Rod Association.
Well,
Away from my window, leave at your own chosen speed. I'm not the one you want, babe. I'm not the one you need. You say you're looking for someone who's never weak but always strong, to protect you and defend you whether you are right or wrong. Someone to open each and every door, but it ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for, babe. Go lightly from the ledge, babe. Go lightly on the ground. I'm not the one you want, babe. I will only let you down. You say you're looking for someone who promised never to part, someone to close his eyes for you, someone to close his heart, someone who will die for you and more. But it ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for, babe. Go melt back in the night. Everything inside is made of stone. There's nothing in here moving, and anyway I'm not alone. You say you're looking for someone who'll pick you up each time you fall, to gather flowers constantly, and to come each time you call. A lover for your life and nothing more. But it ain't me, babe. No, 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 it ain't me, babe. It ain't me you're looking for, babe.
Howdy, everybody. I'm Neil McCoy, and you're listening to The Dana Williams Show right here on DanaWilliamsShow.com.
Funny how love comes and goes with the tears that fill my life. Does it show? So listen to my heartbeat once again. Because of you, I hope this feeling never ends. Silly me, I fell in love again. We started out as friends. You'd think I would have learned from the hurt before. Foolish me, should I have closed the door? Promised, even swore to never love this way. Oh,
Reba McEntire right there. Silly Me. And before that, we had
It ain't
none other
me,
than...
babe. No.
No. None other than Mr. Bob Dylan. It Ain't Me, Babe.
I thought it would be nice. That's nice how we play them back to back because one's about breaking up and one's about falling in love again.
I'll be Silly Me.
Nice. That's one of my favorite Reba albums ever.
So
That whole
let's get into that. I know that was going to be interesting, but you seem to have this this fascination, this absolute Reba fanatical.
There's
just something about Reba. What's the deal with you?
I have to say, in my defense, I'm not that creepy because I've never driven past her house. And I know that fans drive past people's house. I confess I've never done that.
It is interesting, though, that when you came here, you said, I
did, because I'm like, doesn't she live around? I don't even know where she lives. But I hope that we'll become best friends soon. I'm working on it. Since it hasn't happened.
I mean, man, you should have. I'm sure you have met her several times.
You know what? Of course, Reba and I have
interviewed her.
I've interviewed her, and
you've got to have told her about your.
No, there was one point where she was sitting next to me, one of the many interviews that we were doing, and I turned to her and I said, if you had any idea how much I love your music, you would be completely uncomfortable sitting here next to me. And jokingly, and she laughed, and she cracks up, and I think every time we're together, I always tell her, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I can never get a great interview from my perspective because she means so much to me. And I think when you meet your heroes, and there's probably nobody other than people like Dylan and Judy Collins and Carole King and Carly Simon, like those people.
Judy Collins.
Judy, I didn't bring any Judy. I'm a freak.
Amazing Grace, man.
Judy Collins freak. But I didn't bring any of her stuff. But for me, Reba was mine. Like, my sisters and brothers turned me on to stuff.
She's
mine.
mine.
I found Reba on my own and brought her to the rest of my family. And they all now love her to death. But yeah, for over 20 years... I have.
So how was meeting her, and you of course got to know her better now.
Yeah, and and it's funny because she is exactly what you think she would be, and that. I mean, she's just down to earth, just normal, and she's somebody with this extraordinary talent, and is so driven and ambitious that it's so great to see that it's inspiring. I think to so many people in general, regardless of gender, male or female, to see somebody really go for their dreams and never sit back. You think, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for so many years. I've had this many number one sold. I'm going to take it easy. Never in her vocabulary. And I'm sure her husband, Narvel, why their work so great is because he's that same way and that same frame of mind.
Where do you reckon the motivation comes from? Because I mean, hey, man, we're all adults here. It's definitely not going to be from the monetary side of it.
Right. Not anymore for her. And it's funny that you asked that because I asked her that question. I said, where in the world does that drive still come from? Where, why, and where did you get it? And she said her parents.
From where?
From her parents.
Really?
That her father, mostly her father, because they had that farm in Oklahoma, that if they were in the house, they had to get up early, help their father, their dad with the cattle and working that ranch, that if they were in the house and they heard their father coming up the back door, they would turn off the TV and everybody would grab something and do something.
And look busy.
That because if you weren't doing anything, he would give you something to do. And she said that work ethic really proved, obviously, successful for her because it's really what made her.
Well, yeah, but I mean, man, it's just so natural. The hangout ethic comes natural to us all.
The sit on the couch. I asked her, I said, what do you do in your downtime? She said, well, I went through my closet and cleaned out my whole closet, got everything fixed. Everything's done. I'm like, that's not sitting around. That's going through your closet.
Yeah, because her closet's got to be unbelievable.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, that's a job in itself.
Why, yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I don't know if she sits around much. And she said to this day, when she's watching TV, she feels a little guilty. She has that nervous feeling that I should be doing something. So, and I have actually wanted to check her back for a battery. And
yeah, really? Check her back. Yeah, there you go.
Is there an Energizer battery back there?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
But she's the best. There's just nobody else that for me as a fan, I mean, her music has always been I can give you my entire life story according to her songs.
I will say this about Reba. Several years ago, and I want to say it was when they had her and Linda Davis did that duet.
Mm-hmm. Does He Love You?
Does He Love You, yeah. And they did it on CMA Awards that night, and the big red dress and all that.
Sandy's design dress with the cleavage showing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, man, I thought, there was such a hubbub about that, and I was like, I don't get it, man. I mean, half the women here have got dresses like that. That's what this, but whatever, that's another deal.
I think, too, people were used to seeing Reba in jeans and a big belt buckle, and her look was starting to evolve. And
yeah. So, anyway, that night after the award show, Arista, all the record labels have a big party, and as such, as you know, and probably go and cover them and whatever. Anyway, we was at the after show party, me and the wife, and my wife at the time was just a huge Reba McEntire fan, and I had always been. We had every single CD, all this good stuff. And Reba came because Linda Davis was on our label at the time on Arista, and so Reba came to our record company, our record party there, and so when she came in, everybody was talking to her, and man, it was just Reba McEntire, and everybody was wanting her picture took with her and all this good stuff. And I went up to her, introduced myself, introduced my wife at the time, and wanted to take a picture with her and all this good stuff. And she was sitting there visiting for a minute with her, just giving her one-on-one time, and of course everybody was hollering, pulling at Reba, right, and this and that. How those situations are, and so she got pulled away, and and she went off taking pictures, and she was probably gone, I'd say 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and Reba made it a point to come back and say, "Now where were we? I didn't want to forget our conversation here." And she come back and finished the conversation with this person that she'd never met before in her life, but they were visiting, and she come back right after that, and they finished, and we took a picture, and then she went on.
Isn't it? That says it all. I mean, she's just a normal
that
person.
That is just, at that time, and, here we are probably, 8 years later, and I'm sitting here, and it's still on and I still can remember that happening, and still think of that of her, and that was one situation, and there's been one right after the other.
Every time I've been around her, I mean, she's just so down to earth and normal. She's somebody, like I said, a normal person with extraordinary talents, and happens to have her own line of luggage. But that's
clothes, perfume,
luggage, shoes.
I mean, come on.
And she Twitters, which is great. I was on her Twitter page the other day, and she said, "Hey, listen, I'm just letting everybody know that Reba boots are on sale at Dillard's. Just saying." I thought that was great.
Just saying.
Just saying.
That's funny. Oh, goodness. Friends, you are listening to the Dana Williams Show right here on DanaWilliamsShow.com. Got Miss Suzanne Alexander here today. What a time this is, huh? You got to love this, man. I just... what fun. We've been playing some songs that Suzanne brought, and this next one that we're going to play for you is, man, this brings up some awesome stuff, man. We're talking about
the legendary,
the queen,
the queen of country,
the queen of country music, Miss Tammy Wynette. My goodness.
People always ask, and I'm sure you guys have been bombarded with that question throughout your career, what is your all-time favorite classic song?
Oh, man.
What is your all? And
how do you answer that in this business?
And how do you? And it's really difficult. But if I had to choose just one song till I can make it on my own, I think sums up country music, just the heart and soul of what it's about. You have the heartbreak song, and having Tammy sing it is, it's just, you can't even, it's just beyond words.
Now, the interesting part is the one we're going to play you here is not Tammy.
Nope. This is the covers album that I actually pulled this off. And
which is awesome, man. This
yeah.
whole record is so good.
I don't even know. What did I do with it?
And we're going to hear Faith Hill do this.
Faith Hill, and on this album, though, it's a tribute to Tammy, and I think people remember this was out a while back. But Trisha Yearwood's on there, and I know, Dana, you singled that one out, Till I Get It Right.
Till I Get It Right, unbelievable.
Yeah, the whole album is just cut for cut is just great. But hearing Faith sing it, if we don't have Tammy's, I'm going with Faith's. So.
I'd say let's do it until I can make it on my own.
I'll need time to get you off my mind, and I may sometimes bother you, try to be in touch with you, even ask too much of you from time to time. Now and then, Lord, you know I'll need a friend till I get used to losing you. Let me keep on using you till I can make it on my own. I'll get by, but no matter how I try, there'll be times you know I'll call. Chances are my tears will fall, and I'll have no pride at all from time to time. But they say, oh, there'll be a brighter day, but till then I'll lean on you. That's all I mean to do, till I can make it on my own. Surely someday I'll look up and see the morning sun without another lonely night behind me. Then I'll know I'm over you and all my crying's done. No more hurt and memories can find me. But till then, Lord, you know I'm gonna need a friend till I get used to losing you. Let me keep on using you till I can make it on my own. Till I can make it on my own.
That's so good,
Is
isn't
that
it?
good or
Lord,
what?
Yeah. I love it. People have to get that out. I mean, obviously, for me, it's Tammy, but I mean, if people want to hear Tammy covered,
What's the name of that?
It's Tammy Wynette Remembered is the CD.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you guys. That. Well, you just heard a great example, man. Faith Hill just absolutely kill that. And I know there's one on there with Trisha, and I bet Martina's on there. I'm just sitting here.
Right, yeah.
I haven't even looked, and I can bet you Martina's there.
I don't know if Martina's on.
Are
I know
you
Lori
kidding?
Morgan's on here.
Lori, yeah, that'd be a good. Absolutely.
Faith, we have Emmylou Harris, Sarah Evans, Lori Morgan, Katie Oslin, George Jones, Winona sings Woman to Woman, Melissa Etheridge, Apartment Number 9, Roseanne Cash, Divorce, Divorceu. Elton John is on here doing Stand By Your Man, but no Martina.
No Martina. Oh my goodness.
Maybe they could bump, I don't know, Elton. And
Must have been the wrong label.
I don't know. Yeah, it's politics once again.
I
comes into
promise
play.
you that was falling in there.
Yeah. Who knows that story?
That's funny. So, hey, we have talked about different things that have happened on GAC, and I asked you about, I don't know, just kind of uncomfortable moments and this and that. But what about how is it? I know that you guys do a whole lot of traveling, and
We do.
You're going to all these different festivals, and probably I can't even imagine all the places that you guys are going. So how is all that?
Well, for you, I mean, you guys do it in style. I mean, you have those Prevost buses that you travel. Now, we fly into a city, and then we find somewhere to kind of hold up in the back, by catering or something. And when it's hot out, it's not too fun to be standing there all day long.
And here you are with makeup on and not allowed to sweat.
Exactly. Change your shirt. You're sweating. So glamorous. But it's fun. Like I said, I count my blessings every day to get to do what I do. And I would be going to these shows, listening to these music, sitting at home, reading the liner notes anyway. So getting to go off, and we cover the Country Thunder Festival, Arizona and Wisconsin. Something that I've been doing and started for the past year, which is kind of odd when people laugh that I'm from Long Island and I love country music. People may not know that I also had this love of bull riding. I personally have, there's a story there, but I have never obviously gotten into bull riding myself.
I've seen clips of you.
I've ridden
in
a
Vegas.
steer.
Is it in Vegas that I've seen?
Well, yeah, I've been all over. I've actually now gone to cover the CBR events, Championship Bull Riding events.
Oh, okay.
So that's with Tuff Hedeman. So I've gotten to be buds with Tuff and travel their circuit a little bit. And so if I'm not out on the weekends for Country Music Festival, I'm usually with the bull riders, and I travel all over Texas, and we're getting to go to Cheyenne, Wyoming this year, Frontier Days, which is going to be big, and that's like, there. I know, and I keep telling the producer of CBR, I'm like, listen, dude, bump me in a little bit earlier and give me a cushion a couple of days after so I can get some shopping done. Yeah. Boy, when you're in Wyoming, spend.
So have you been able to grasp or get a explanation of these bull riders' frame of mind? I don't want to sit here and just bluntly call him crazy.
Crazy, yeah. 2,000 pound, upwards of 2,000 pounds of a bull that wants you. His sole purpose is to get you off his back
in any shape, way he can
Whatever.
do it.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
I mean, I have talked to some of them and enough to learn that there's really no money in it. There's no big money in it.
It can lead to some money because
eventually
you have to win. You have to
be the big dog,
you have to do
man.
really well. And again, there's a difference. PBR, CBR, very different. And then there's the PRCA circuit. So there are several different circuits out there for bull riders to make some money. And usually if you're riding CBR, you don't ride the other one, but you'll ride the PRCA circuit. So they vary and they cover as many rodeos as they can for bull riders and try and rack up as much money as they can. But they get endorsements. If they're, again, the top guys, they'll get sponsorship. But what people don't know is these guys have to pay their own way. And then when they pay their own way to get there, they pay for their hotel, their gas, usually diesel because they have these big dually trucks they drive. Then they have to pay an admission fee to get into that event that day. So if they want to ride, they've got to pay an upwards of $100, maybe $200 to get in, to put into that pot to pay. You got to pay to ride. And if they don't win, they don't win. They go on to the next event and hope they win there. And a lot of these guys do it because it's a way of life. Their families, their fathers, uncles, they grew up doing it. And I will say, though, I've met some guys, Neil Harris, a young kid, really had a scare in, I think we were in North Dakota, where he really got hit pretty bad. He got trampled on, and it didn't look good, but thank God he's up and walking now. But he's a kid from Houston, Texas. He's an inner city kid, and just had a love of wanting to do this. And he's funny to talk to because his mom is just, biting nails, just wanting him to stop. And
for the life of me, I don't understand it. It's just bizarre.
It's an extreme sport, and I have to say, to watch it, I know there are a lot of things in rodeo where people go, oh my God, the animal. I look at this and go, this is a fair fight. I mean, this bull is a 2,000-pound bull. And these bulls, I have to tell you, are babied. I mean, when their owners, the stock contractors that own these bulls, I mean, yeah, they're trailered around and stuff, but they always find a place where they get to put them out in his pasture and let them relax and graze. But I know one guy that actually has his bull stays outside his bedroom window so he can always see him. And he has a bed and a pool for the bull that if he wants to get wet. I mean, it's like crazy because it's money. I mean, and these bulls, they get rated just as the cowboys do.
Well, let me tell you, we were playing down at San Antonio at an arena down there for the rodeo. And we were inside, and I don't know what this deal was, but we were inside, and they had the rodeo deal going, and then at the edge, at one end of the floor there, they had a stage set up. And after the rodeo, then they were going to let everybody come down, and we were going to have a big show. So we're standing out there watching this, the bull riding, and they have the steel, fence or fencing or whatever all the way around the whole rink, And how high is that? I don't know, 10 feet.
Yeah, it's safe.
Yeah. Well, it's safe, all right.
No, went through?
No. We just noticed all of a sudden a bull, he just got upright, and he went over that like it was a foot tall. And the whole bull, not just part of him, the whole bull cleared that like it wasn't a foot tall, and out in the mezzanine he is, around where the people are out there in the concessions and stuff. He's out there running on tile now, or like rock type stuff that this place has, and of course he has no grip whatsoever.
So he's sliding and slipping.
He's sliding and falling and boom into the wall, and then he gets up and he's head on. Here he comes down the hall, and I'm standing out by the drinking fountain.
Was he coming at you?
And I look around, and I see this bull slide around the corner, and I'm like, hey, that don't look natural.
Dana Williams running with the bulls in San Antonio, Texas. Kix Brooks did it in Pamplona. You don't have to go to Spain.
No.
You can do it in Texas.
In Texas, inside the arena.
That's great.
Buddy, let me tell you, that freaked me out.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I have been where I've had my back right up against that fence, and I've been doing a break on camera, and I have felt that bull go by me where my hair has gone up.
I'm telling you, man.
And I could just feel the air of that bull.
That dude went over that fence like it wasn't a foot tall, man.
Yeah. They're incredibly strong animals. But you know what's funny is that when they are not being ridden, and in this case, in your case, I'm sure this bull was still kind of panicked and anxiety was really kind of...
Whatever it was, buddy, he had all of it.
But I'm saying they're pretty docile outside of that world where these guys
goodness.
can walk up to those bulls and go pet that bull like a dog. But inside that arena, and I've watched them go from the chute and get into that little chute where they're about to go, and as soon as they hear that music, that cowboy touches their back, game on. They change up. Their whole personality, demeanor just goes full force. It's something to see, and to see these guys do what they do, because cowboys are not big, muscular boys. They're strong, obviously, but they're not these big fat necks walking around, And to see them do it with this style and grace, it really is amazing the way they do it. It blows me away every time. It's something to see if people haven't seen it.
It's definitely an amazing thing, and you can't help but want to look at the guys and just, I truly need a real reason why you're doing this.
They don't do it for a long time.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
It's not a long career.
Oh, man. Well, hey, we are, I don't know, man. What else we need to talk about?
I thought maybe wrapping it up, and not because it's the Dana Williams show and you're Diamond Rio, but because you asked for songs with stories, and I thought
you did bring this song, and you're the one that brought the CD.
I brought the CD. I know. I'm like, you think he would have all the Diamond Rio CDs, but just in case, I brought my own, and the song is One More Day, and I'm sure a lot of people, and I'm sure you have heard story after story from fans about how this song has touched them in some way when they lose somebody. And
still to this day.
I'm sure it's one of those songs that that's the sign of a great song. And I talk about music as this timeline for life. It's there when we need it most. And when somebody passes away, and it was a friend of mine's father, and he was really close. I was close to him and their family, and we'd travel together on vacations, and he had passed away. And I remember sitting in the car, and she and I would drive out to the beach a lot on Long Island, 10 minutes away from the beach. And we'd sit there and talk, and she was having such a hard time with her father's passing, and this song, we had the radio playing, and the song came on the radio. Yeah. And she lost it. And I remember crying with her, and she said, I'm going to write down the lyrics of this song, and when I have to speak at my father's funeral tomorrow, I am going to just read these lyrics. So.
It's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, an interesting thing, you're just talking about that, 3 years, I think it was 90, no, maybe it was just 99. It's 98 or 99. We played the I don't know, the atrium there of the World Trade Center.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
The radio station there put on, and we played that like 2 years before the happenings. And what was interesting is after 9/11, like 9/12, one of my first emails was somebody emailed me One More Day where they had used that as a tribute. And let me tell you what, man, you want to a song just tear you apart.
If you want to sit and cry and get it all out, this is a song.
And it's just that was a song that we were just thankful to. We were holding on to that song. That isn't one that's your song. No, that we got to do that song. That's just one of those songs that people, dream a career of having. That we were fortunate enough to get a hold of. And
that's interesting too. Was it one of the songs for Diamond Rio when you guys have a song like One More Day? I'm sure there are others where you really get some feedback from the fans where you go, I would think it has to be the ballads, the stuff that really, oof.
Most of the time, yeah. Mama Don't Forget to Pray for Me. When we had that, I can't tell you how many runaways and stuff like that would try to contact us and tell us that because of that song.
How do you feel as the artist too? Because is it something that really kind of, I don't want to say a burden, but you have to take on so much from listening to people story after story that it can get a little heavy sometimes.
Yeah, it does get heavy, and you do. You learn. I'll tell you what happened with me is we learned real quick that you got to be. It's more than we're just looking. Man, when you're brand new, this and that, you're looking for a great song. What's going to be a hit? And you try to make your best educated guess at, the entire machine working for you is trying to make their best educated guess of what a hit is to be successful. And once you're successful, then it becomes fairly quickly very clear that these are more than just hits to these people out here. They're listening to these songs, and it's going deeper than just skin deep here. You're tugging at heartstrings and people's feelings and lives.
It's our life, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
A song remembers when.
Yeah, there you go. So when that comes clear to you, and that really came clear with us with Mama Don't Forget to Pray for Me. And, man, we've had videos sent to us of people getting married with fence post under a Georgia pine for meet in the middle.
Isn't it? That's got to be so. I would be walking on cloud nine. I'm a part of that.
We've had that sent to us where they walked and met one another in fence posts, and then they met under a Georgia pine and they got married, and they played Meet in the Middle was their wedding march or whatever song, whatever that is. And One More Day now, when One More Day and I Believe, those two right there.
I Believe, yeah.
Holy smoke.
I was going to just say that song, yeah.
I've seen more folks sit and just cry their eyes out, and mothers that have lost children and this and that. And it's an interesting thing to watch for all of us, not watch folks, but for all of us, that a song that will rip your heart out like that and be so emotional for you is something that you'll gravitate toward for healing. Now, isn't that interesting?
Because you want to know that somebody obviously went through the same things.
You know, you'll go to that, and you want to be in that place, and that is what brings healing for you, is to get all tore up.
And I was going to say, and not to be flip, but my mom says there's something seriously wrong with me because I always go towards the sadder stuff. Give me a sad movie, a sad song. And everybody's like, "Are you miserable?" I'm like, "No, I'm the happiest person going." But I love the sad.
One of my
songs.
first heartbreaks, man. Girlfriend bailed on me, and I got Ronnie Millsap's "Too Soon to Know." And I just play it. Well, it's too soon to know.
Isn't that amazing? Over and over again.
That's all I wanted to hear, you know, just get all in the funk, you know. But it is an interesting thing to watch that and how it affects people and how it helps people. And that, in turn, that is the blessing. So.
Well, that's great. Great that you're
truly is.
You guys have done so much in music and been such a part of it.
You know, we have been very blessed and very thankful to all the people, all the fans, and all the folks like you that have been a vehicle to get our music out there. So, you know, it's very, very blessed situation, you know, on both of our parts.
On both of our parts. But you know, it's funny. People always say on, you know, being a broadcaster. I mean, for me, I've always just been a fan who gets to do this for a living.
I think that's a big thing. That's a big part of it, man, is just, man, how do you do this job without being an absolute fan of it and love being involved and being around it and learning and all that.
Well, you know how many people say on Facebook, "I wish I had your job. You have the best job ever." I know, I'm a fan who got really lucky, but you can't have it because I have the job. Well, for a little while, who knows? All good things come to an end, as we were talking about, but I'm enjoying it right now.
That's great. Well, hey, man, I want to thank you for coming. I know this was a little bit of a drive for you to come out here to the old Dana's cave here, but I sure appreciate you doing it. And I got to tell you, I don't know that you and I have not really sat and got to know one another very well over the years, just in business of it. You
rush
know?
in, rush out. Usually they're rushing Dana. He's got about 12 people around him. Miss Alexander, Dana Williams is ready for his interview.
Oh, get out.
And I go, "Oh, God, what am I going to do? What am I going to ask?" And Dana says, "Yeah, let's talk about the song." And then they whisk him away. So we never really get to just hang out.
But to have you in this situation, man, a very, very sweet and charming person, and I appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Real pleasure.
I said it was so nice. I got to self-indulge.
Well, there you go. Dive in.
It was enjoyable, and I had a blast. So,
well, hey, man, we'll let a little time go by, and we'll come back and do it again and see what we've thought up this year.
Let's do it again, and happy 2011. Happy New Year.
Yeah, absolutely. 2011, that's how we say it. Not 2011.
I don't know. I always say 2011, and I know it can go either way. I don't know what's correct.
My son says 2011, and he corrects me every time I say it 2011. He goes, Dad, get in the game. It's 2011.
2011. I don't know. We did it with 2010. Is it 2010, 2000? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot easier if you can get used to the
2011.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Dana, happy 2011.
Happy 2011, Suzanne. All right, everybody, thank you for listening, and I truly hope you have enjoyed this version of the Dana Williams Show. I want to encourage you to check out our Facebook page and the DW Show Twitter page. You can always email me, Dana@DanaWilliamsShow.com, and check out our new phone number you can send in your request. I will be sure and post that phone number and everything here for you. Thank you for listening, and you know what? This last song is one that's true to my heart, no doubt about it. Very, very close to my heart, and hopefully many of you. This one is One More Day, none other than Diamond Rio.
Last night I had a crazy dream. Wish was granted just for me. It could be for anything. I didn't ask for money or a mansion in Malibu. I simply wished for one more day with you. One more day, one more time, one more sunset, maybe I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. Leave me wishing still for one more day with you. One more day. First thing I do is pray for time to crawl. I'd unplug the telephone, keep the TV off. I'd hold you every second, say a million I love yous. That's what I do with one more day with you. One more day, one more time, one more sunset, maybe I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. Leave me wishing still for one more day with you. One more day, one more time, one more sunset, maybe I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. Leave me wishing still for one more day. Leave me wishing still for one more day. Leave me wishing still for one more day with you.
That's all for this week. Listen next week for more great music and celebrity conversations. And don't forget to check the archives for a show you might have missed of The Dana Williams Show.